check check first. See if everything is working. Oi, I got water this time, so I can. My throat starts to feel dry. I can drink. Continue reading. Hopefully this is working. Usually it is, but I'd like to double check. Remember, I made a whole stream one time. Just me talking to myself. Wibby wobbo, tee 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 boop bop bop. Okay, everything seems to be a-okay. Got live chat ready, got my water. We are in fact Pog Champion. Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Last time we made it pretty far. We got through half of it. So obviously today we'll be going through the other half. We have Sayori, Natsuki, fucking brain fart, Yuri, Monika, and then Natsuki and Yuri. So none of these are actually scary, sadly. So I made all those teasers super scary for no reason. These are actually all gonna be sweet, deep, and probably depressing. But yeah, we're gonna get through it, get done, finish this game finally. As for pictures, positive we're gonna get these ones by doing those. We're probably gonna get these poems as well. Obviously the scenes and shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. We have 6 stories. So one of these are gonna have 2, I think, unless I get one for completing them all. Not much about poems, just a lot of dialogues, no actual interaction that I can do like I was able to in the story. And then I think that's going to be for completing the game. Ugh. Alright, so we're just going to jump right into it with Balance Part 1. I'm going to take a sip of my water. I was going to do this next week, but I figured 3-day weekend before I have to go back to hell. Get it done, get it finished, because next week I think I'm going to start playing another game. Alright, Balance Part 1. Natsuki. While Natsuki is messing with the orientation of her manga in the closet shelf, Sayori approaches from behind and pulls her into an embrace. What? Hi. Hi. The Literature Club has been full swing since Natsuki joined. Including her, the club is now comprised of 4 members. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and Monika. Each club member has received a day in the spotlight to share all of their favorite kinds of literature with each other. Natsuki was first and shared her passion for manga. Then Sayori shared her love for poetry and, well, as well as how she goes about writing it herself. Monika, who has multiple literary interests, decided to focus her day on short stories. And finally, Yuri managed to demonstrate her obsession with fantasy with a little help and encouragement from Sayori. After the weeks were spent on their presentations, Monika decided to give the club members this next week to freely explore each other's literary interests. Sayori, having spent the most of her time in the club so far with Yuri's fantasy books, is rather excited to begin her journey into Natsuki's manga collection. I want to read with you today. Tell me which one I should pick. Ah, well, that depends on the kind of stuff you like. I mean, there's like romance, drama, comedy, mystery. I like all of those things. Sayori reaches out and pulls a random book from the shelf and inspects the cover. Shouldn't this girl be wearing more clothes? You wouldn't like that one. In a panic, Natsuki snatches the book from Sayori's hand and replaces it on the shelf with less conspicuous location. Okay, well, if you really have no preference, then let's just start with something that's easy to get into. A lot of these don't start to get really good until like a few volumes in, and I wouldn't ask them to make that kind of commitment unless they're already really in the manga. I could handle it. I did it with Yuri's books, at least. Well, I'm more considerate than that. Although I'm kind of impressed by your attention span if you put that much effort into her books. Now I have the attention span of a donut. But I love my friends and I can do anything if it's for them. Well, okay then. Let's pick you something that even donuts can read. I didn't say I was a donut, I said I have the attention span of one. You were just trying to call me sweet. You're so cute. Now, how did you get that? How did you get to that conclusion? And don't call me that. A donut? Cute. Ah, how come? I just don't like it. I don't need a reason. Natsuki yanks a book from the shelf and closes the closet doors. If someone asks you to stop, then you just need to stop. People need to realize that. I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to hurt you. Nah, sorry. It wasn't you. Natsuki shakes her head while pulling a second chair over her desk. I was talking about something else. I didn't mean to get angry all of a sudden. Natsuki averts her gaze and mumbles. You're like a nice person, so I wasn't talking about you. I still learned a valuable lesson. Sorry speaks softly as well, feeling shy after receiving an unexpected compliment. Well, anyway, here's the book, so just start it whenever you feel like it. What's it about? Well, it's like a comedy, and there's romance too, obviously. Story looks at the title. It's called Love is Another Word for Luck. It's about a girl who keeps accidentally running into the same guys, and then you find out, well, you should just read it. But you have to tell me what you think. God, throat is already fucking killing me from reading. Take a sip. Bah, bah, bah. I can already guess who you're going to ship yourself with. It would be so funny if I'm right. Ship, I don't get it. Ah, never mind. Let's not worry about that yet. Just make sure you tell me what you think. Oh, okay. I'll start then. Maybe tomorrow we can do poetry too. Oh, yeah, I guess. But I don't want to finish this. But don't you want to finish this first? Yeah, but we could do both. I mean, unless you don't like poetry, then I won't make you or anything. No, it's just, well, never mind. We can worry about it tomorrow. After the club meeting ends and Natsuki and Yuri leave, Monika strikes up a conversation with Sayori. I see you got... Oof. God. Man, it's getting tough to get back into this. Maybe I should have waited till the next week. Nah, I'll do it. I see you got Natsuki to share some of her manga with you. I really want to become better friends with her. She's so God, that fucking word. And expressive. I could just listen to her talk. She's so... I'm not sure if she meant I can't say that to her, or if I can't just say it at all. Say what? Nothing. I'm a woman of respect. But Natsuki is a woman of cute. Oh, I said it. What's so bad about that? I don't know. But, you know, there's one thing I'm kind of worried about. Sometimes I'm afraid that Natsuki actually doesn't like me very much. Oh, that's ridiculous. How come you feel that way? Well, I mean, just little signs, like how she only says hi to me after I say hi to her. And it feels like she only gets excited to talk to me when it's about manga and other stuff she likes. She just seems dismissive a lot. She was like that when I brought up poetry. Yeah, but that doesn't mean she doesn't like you. She's probably just shy, you know. Maybe. My stupid head is making me worry for no reason. It likes to do that. Wibby wobble. I'm gonna start drinking this whole water. I'm already a quarter of the way. It's okay. Try not to worry so much. Everything will be great. But you can always talk to me about any concerns that you have. I'm here to help. You're the best. Sayori gives Monika a quick hug. Well, I'm gonna keep trying because I love her and I want to get close to her. You got this. Alright, day 1. Hoi. After the next club meeting starts, Sayori is the last one as usual. Trotting into the room, she sees Natsuki sitting alone by the closet, reading what must be manga. Without hesitation, Sayori pulls up a chair and plops herself right next to Natsuki. Hello there. I didn't mean to read it like that. Hi. What you reading? Can I read it with you? Natsuki pulls a book away from Sayori. You can't just start in the middle, there are spoilers. Besides, what about the one I gave you yesterday? Sorry, I was just curious. Well, anyway, I've been waiting forever for this volume to come out, and it just came out yesterday, so... Oh, that's exciting. Well, I'll read it. Well, I'll let you read it then. Can I sit next to you, though? Sure. Sayori plops herself down next to Natsuki, then pulls out a blank sheet of paper. Natsuki reads in silence, save for the periodic flutter of a page being released from beneath her thumb. From Sayori's side, only a light tapping noise of her pen meeting the paper can be heard. Time passes. Sayori's paper is filled with scribbles and margins are lined with stick figures. Natsuki lets out a deep sigh and closes her book. Did you finish? No, but it's but it's a good stopping point. My head is swimming. I need a break. Natsuki stretches her arms. Aren't you bored? No, I was writing. Oh, I saw all the stick figures and thought you were just bored. I just draw those when I'm thinking or waiting for inspiration. I made friends with them all. This one's sad because she thinks the night sky is pretty, but she can't look up at the stars in public without everyone thinking she's a weirdo. Oi. Fucking time is it? It's gonna be a long night. Long night, fellas. Sorry I started so late. I was gonna start like usual time, but I just decided maybe I'd finish it today. And this one has problems with his bag, but the doctors can't figure out what's wrong with him. Ah, what the heck. You're the weirdo. Want to read a poem I'm working on? Sure, I guess. Sayori slides the paper over to Natsuki. As Natsuki reads the poem, she furrows her eyebrows. She slides the paper back over to Sayori. Do you ever feel weird just sharing all your thoughts and feelings like that? I mean, your poems are like really emotional. Is that bad? Well, no, it's just an observation. I think people can get closer to each other if they find ways of expressing their feelings. Well, Natsuki makes a protest, but she can't find a good way of putting her thoughts into words. Doesn't that depend more on the kinds of friends you have? I don't know. To teach their own, but to each their own. But I've never met anyone I'd feel comfortable sharing my poems with. Not that it's you. It's just how I am. So, you write poems? You never told me that. I just thought you wrote other stuff. Yeah, that too. But you should. I mean, would you ever want to share? Like I said, I don't do that. But can we talk about something else? I'm sorry. She doesn't want to share poems because she fucking sucks dick at it. It's exactly what the story's gonna be about. It's not your fault, it just makes me uncomfortable. I can't help it. Still, I'm sorry. It's fine. Well, let's move on to something that makes us both happy. I should continue the book he gave me since I didn't get very far yet. Sure. She's so complicated for no reason. Over the next few days, Sayori begins each club meeting by approaching Natsuki with unwavering enthusiasm. It's Natsuki. Natsuki. Hi, Natsuki. Oof. At the end of the club meeting, Monika, who has become rather invested in Sayori's friendship mission, starts an innocuous conversation with Natsuki while she packs up. It's cool that you've been finding time to spend with Sayori. She was pretty excited for the chance to read manga with you. Yeah, I'm sure you've been enjoying the chance to share it too, right? Yeah, mostly. Natsuki glances over her shoulder, but she doesn't reply further. What's on your mind? Nothing. I don't talk to people behind their backs. Oh. Natsuki falls silent, but she just fidgets instead of getting back to what she was doing, as though she wants to say more. It's okay to share your feelings. That's different from talking about someone behind their back, I guess. I just hate when people talk about me behind my back, so I'm better than to do it to others. Monika shares a bright smile. You're really considerate. Thanks, I guess, but I don't feel like it. You can trust me. Natsuki stands in silence for a moment, just still fidgeting. I just feel smothered sometimes. I'm not used to someone being like all over me right after we meet. I mean, it's fun to hang out with her, but I just have no control over the pace. I can't just meet someone and instantly become best friends with them and like share everything about myself. That's not how it works. I just want to chill out sometimes. Oh, I didn't realize that was happening. It's fine. Why would you have? I know, I just feel bad about it. I know Sayori, so I should have realized. Monika navigates through her tinge of guilt, which has surfaced mainly due to her being the one who previously encouraged Sayori's behavior. Throat hurts. The swooshing of water hitting my cheeks. I hope that wasn't so loud in the mic. Despite not knowing the situation, Monika can't help but feel a little responsible. Do you want me to talk to her about it? No, I wouldn't like that. Well, I could like divert her into another club activity for you or something. No way, that would be so underhanded and mean. Sorry, I didn't think that one through. Besides, just because I complained about it doesn't mean I'm asking for someone to solve my problems for me. True. I'm sorry. I guess I instinctively want to try to solve problems even if I haven't been invited to. It's fine. I would talk to Sayori about it, but it would make things really weird between us. I feel like it would make her just constantly be afraid that she's bothering me. I don't know how to just keep things natural. Well, I think if you do a good job at expressing all your feelings, you should totally understand. Sayori really wants to be the best she can be for other people. I think she would actually be happy that you want to improve your friendship with her. Maybe. Ugh, it just feels so dumb talking to someone about how to be friends with them. It's just weird and not cool. Monika shrugs. It's a literature club. Then she mumbles through a stifled still, I don't get it. It's not the cool club. Hey, sorry. It just tickled me for some reason. Look, I know that you're kind of in a tough spot and that it's hard for you to really express yourself, but you've really demonstrated to me that you're great at self-reflection and critical thinking, even if it doesn't feel like it to you. I think that the most important part of being able to navigate through these things, so I believe that you'll find the right thing to do. Well, Natsuki instinctively starts to reject the compliment, but she can't find any excuse to do so. Thanks. Natsuki gathers her things and finishes her thought in a mumble. And I'm so glad I joined the club, even if it's weird sometimes. Monika smiles, but Natsuki turns her back and walks away before waiting for a reply. It was an unusual way for Natsuki to express her appreciation, but Monika knew what she meant. I made Monika feel like everything really was going to be okay. Alright. That one had to have been shorter. If that was 30 minutes long, I'm gonna freak out. Yeah, no, that was like a good 15. Alright. Slowly but surely. We got music. What did we get? I don't know, we got fucking something. No new pictures. Balance, part 2. Hopefully these two are short, because if this was a long one, I think it would have been really boring. It's lunchtime. Sari, who usually buys her lunch, is making her way to the cafeteria like any other day. The clamor of and bustle of students is drowned by Sari's impeccable skill of zoning out. However, her imagination is momentarily interrupted by the glimpse of a familiar pink-haired girl. Hey, that's Natsuki. I never run into the club members around the school. Natsuki! Sari stands on her tippy toes and waves. Natsuki, who's busy walking and chatting with her friends, doesn't notice Sayori at first. Then she glances over to Sayori's direction. Sayori waves why the fuck does he give you... Okay. Enthusiastically. That sounds so wrong, though. Whatever. Following her friend, Natsuki ducks around the corner. Hey, she definitely saw me. What a bitch. Monika is the first to arrive at the club meeting, then Natsuki. Sayori, having glanced through the window to see Natsuki already inside, is unable to work enough courage to enter. Natsuki's been so distant with me. I was stupid to think she ever wanted to be friends. She only got excited because she got to share her manga. But besides from that, she doesn't even like me. I should just go home today. Sorry, but do you plan on going inside? No. Why? I'm sulking. Oh. Yuri just went inside. Well, I'm sorry for bothering you. Excuse me. No, don't leave me. Oh, I'll stay here then. I don't want to go in. I'm afraid of bothering Natsuki. I saw her at lunch today, so I waved and called out to her, but instead of saying hi, she just ran away from me. Really? Not bad. Hey, I'm sorry. That was a joke. It just sounded like something stupid that I would do from anxiety. From anxiety? Well, I just don't like attention being drawn to myself. Oh, well, that makes sense. That makes sense based on the person you are. But Natsuki isn't shy like that at all. I thought we were friends, but it feels like every day she's trying to distance herself more instead of get closer. It makes me feel like she was only spending time with me during the club because I was reading manga, but she doesn't actually want to be friends with me. Well, I feel like I'm missing a lot of context here. Was she in the middle of anything when you approached her? No, she was just walking with her friends. Yuri pauses for a moment. How do I put this? Sari, you're very fond of your friends, right? You always want to be spending time with them. Of course, I don't think there's anything more important to me. I mean, the best part of my day is always with my friends. Besides that, I really hate being alone, so, oof. You hate being alone? Sayori nods. We're very different people. I cherish my time alone. I wouldn't trade it for anything. So I think, well, if I was trying to have alone time, and it was being threatened with an interruption, then... Notification. I got a direct message. It's a TikTok. Hopefully it ain't bad. Sing or Swim, Part 2. I'll watch that later. It's just she would not make me very happy. Yeah, but that doesn't have to do with Natsuki. She was already with her friends, not trying to be alone or anything. No, I think it's similar. It's, well, we're all friends in the club, but we have our own lives outside of the club as well. If you think about it, making new friends isn't some casual occurrence that happens on a daily basis. A friendship is an invitation to intertwine your lives together, but the capacity at which each person is already to do that might be different. There are friends who just like to have fun together, and others who talk every day and share every detail of their lives with each other. I think when establishing a friendship, it's important to consider the comfort level of the other person. I mean, we don't really know much about Natsuki's life outside the club. It could be that she simply needs to make friends at her own pace rather than just head first into a new commitment. But that means I really was bothering her. I just really wanted to be good friends with her, so I treated her like one. Was I actually hurting her? I don't know, I'm sorry. My insight was really only based on what I understand about my own needs, and Natsuki and I are completely different, so why was I so selfish? Even if it's all true, then it still means I hurt her. I think I messed up. Yuri, with you, I think I was really careful to understand your needs when I was becoming friends with you, but I wasn't careful at all with Natsuki because she already seems really social. I just took control of everything instead of looking for the right balance. Now I hurt her and she doesn't want to talk to me. How could I let myself do this? Sayori? I think that, well, there was one time you told me something about the day I saw things in my head being different from reality. It's easy to automatically jump to the worst case scenario, but I think it's more likely that Natsuki doesn't harbor any ill feelings towards you. So I think if we're to realistically consider the situation and how it could cause someone to feel, I'm bad at this, I'm sorry. You're a lot better than me at things like comforting and reassuring people. Sayori gives Yuri a gentle hug. You're the best, Yuri. Sorry for burdening you with this. I'm trying so hard. You're trying so hard for me. You're such a sweetheart. It's not a burden. I enjoy listening to others. My friends deserve happiness. God. Throat hurt. Poggers. Sayori beams. Well, I think I'm gonna give Natsuki some space. She should do what she wants. And if she still wants to be friends, then I'll learn her needs and I'll watch her boundaries. Yeah, sure, that's what's best. I wish I didn't feel so awful and guilty. It makes me feel desperate, like I need to wake it up to her by trying to make her happy. That's not what she needs. I just have to tell myself that. Hello, we got another viewer. How's your night going? Please answer. That sounded weird. It hurts, but I guess it means I still need to grow. I really want to grow as a person. If it's to be better for my friends, I want that. 3. Hello. Welcome to Doki Doki. That's very mature of you, Sayori. Laugh. I'm mature. Sayori hops up and down on her toes. Stretch. I don't know who just commented. I figure it out. Mr. Pasta. What the fuck? So does that mean you'll be going home after all? Sayori shakes her head. I need to be here to show her that I respect her space. I'll just spend the club by myself today. Your nods and understanding. You can go in first. Okay. You're blocking the door. Oh, Sayori steps aside. By the way, before Yuri enters the club room, Sayori interjects. You said that you and Natsuki are completely different, but I don't really think that's true. I think you're actually really similar in a lot of ways. Yuri smiles and shakes her head. Sayori, that's absurd. You're very silly sometimes. Yuri turns and enters the club room. After a moment, Sayori follows. So, Mr. Pasta, I don't know who you are, but this is a horror game. At least the main story is. But we're not going to be seeing any creepy stuff. If you want to learn this story, I recommend maybe going back and watching other actually, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'm not just playing this because it's just an anime game. It's a horror game. The club room is quiet. When Sayori walks in, Natsuki glances in her direction. Sayori smiles to give Natsuki a real... Natsuki get... Man, I am just... Sayori smiles to give Natsuki a quick wave, sitting down across the room. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. Sayori decides it's best to continue the manga she was reading, so she pulls it out. However, it looks like Natsuki isn't reading today. She has a sheet of paper in front of her and is tapping a pen against her desk, staring at it. Oh, are we writing today? Monika speaks in a quiet voice, unwilling to disturb the peace of the club room. She kneels down at Natsuki's desk. Hey! Natsuki pulls the sheet closer to her and covers her with her arms. Sorry, I didn't mean to peek. Whatever. I just wanted to see how everything was going. It's fine. Natsuki replies dismissively. She glances over at Sayori, who is focused on her manga. Monika follows Natsuki's gaze. I think she's mad at me. How come? I'm busy right now. Ask me later. Monika falls silent. Natsuki looks back down at her paper. She inches her hand away from the top margin, allowing Monika to see. Says to Sayori. Understanding, Monika smiles. She places her hand on Natsuki's shoulder and whispers softly, I'm proud of you. Natsuki looks away but shakes no motion to remove Monika's hand. Monika gives Natsuki's shoulder a quick squeeze before standing back up and pulling away. Ugh, so much fucking reading. The end of the club meeting passes. Yuri has already departed. I think I read that wrong. So is Monika. After checking on Sayori and Natsuki to ensure they wouldn't stay too late, Sayori was determined to finish her manga volume before heading out since the end was approaching. However, with Natsuki also staying late for an unknown reason, a silent tension hangs in the air. After finishing the volume, Sayori brings it to the closet to put it away. She slides it back onto her shelf while Natsuki watches. When Natsuki gets up and pulls it back out in order to turn it in its proper location. Sorry, I didn't know where it was supposed to go. It's fine. The two fall silent again, avoiding eye contact. They both look like they're about to say something, but neither can break the silence. A moment passes. Well, I'll be on my way. See you tomorrow. Sayori turns away to hide her pained expression, then walks away from the closet. If there was only proof Natsuki no longer wanted to be friends, this was it. Defeated, Sayori carries herself out of the club room. Once in the hallway, Sayori takes a deep breath and hits her palm against her cheeks to clear her head a little. Suddenly Natsuki's stammering voice calls from behind. Natsuki! Startled, Sayori turns back around to face Natsuki. I'm taking a drink. I'm gonna mute myself because I don't know if you guys hear the water like whooshing around in my cheeks. Alright, back in business. Natsuki fidgets and anxiously continues with the shaking voice. I have a lot of things to say. Me too. But you go first.
Whoosh,
Natsuki,
whoosh, whoosh.
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Yes, indeed. Natsuki bites her lip and can't stay still. Well, first of all, she cuts herself short, struggling to continue. Trying to force the words out, she stamps on her foot and hops up and down a little. I'm sorry for the thing I did at lunch, and I'm sorry for just being kind of mean lately. Oof, excuse me. It's really hard for me to I'm not good with things that make me uncomfortable, especially when it comes to like feelings and stuff. So, face burning, Natsuki's palm. Natsuki clams up again. Where the fuck am I getting these words? Instead of continuing, she simply holds up a sheet of paper for Sayori to take. The best place in the world. I love my bedroom. It's full of bright colors and soft things. The sunlight shines. That's a little tongue twister there. And it makes everything sparkle. It's the best place in the world. It has all my treasures, all my books, my collections, my memories. All my dreams were born in this room. It's the best place in the world. It has all my secrets, all my failures, my fears, my feelings. Sometimes it feels so fragile that the door will break at the slightest touch, but it's still the best place in the world. But when someone knocks, I get scared. I brace my arms against loose hinges. Please don't break. Don't come in. I'm not ready. It's my best place in the world. The knocking won't stop. I block the door with furniture, and an eye peeks through the keyhole, and I panic. I'm trapped in the best place in the world. I'm not ready to share my favorite place. I need to clean my secrets and make my bed to hide my nightmares. I need to touch them to put them away, to see them again. I have so much to do, and I'm scared. I'm not ready, but it's still my favorite place. I still want to share it. However long it takes, if you wait patiently, I'll eventually open the door, and I'll show you the best place in the world. Wow. It's a poem. No shit. But I thought, well, I sucked it up so that I could work things out with you. So just be happy about it. Please. Sari smiles deeply from the bottom of her heart. I'm happier than I could express. I feel so awful, but I'm so happy that you would do this for me. I actually realized before the club meeting today that I made a mistake. I was so caught up in the chance of getting close to you that I forgot to think about what you wanted. And and that we probably have different ways we like to make friends. About like the friendship stuff. I mean, it's okay. I understand, so you don't have to force yourself to talk about it. Your poem did a good job. Whatever that means. So don't force yourself if you're not ready yet, okay? Natsuki nods. You don't have to feel like you did anything wrong. It was my fault and I'm sorry. I wasn't mad at you today or anything like that. I actually felt really guilty and I wanted to give you space. I was thinking it's silly that I'm gonna restart. I was thinking it's silly that I approach you all the time and that I should just let you approach me when you want to. Just whatever makes you comfortable. I respect that from now on. Friendships should always start with those things, with the right balance. Natsuki nods again. One thing about that. Well, I don't want to have to approach you all the time either. I just want it to be balanced, like you said. Sorry, nods. I understand. We'll make sure of that together then. Oh, it's still going. Well, anyway, now that the two of them have found common ground, Natsuki finds it easier to speak more freely again. I'm not gonna be like showing my poems all the time now or anything like that, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to do once in a while, only the best ones. So you better like them because otherwise I might change my mind. I like anything you do, Natsuki. I was just saying, more importantly, I have to tell you about my new boyfriend. What? Huh? Oh, from the manga. Oh. Wait, I need to guess who it is. You definitely won't be able to guess. The two walk down the hallway together. Oh my god, we have so much to talk about. Darn, I should have told you to save the last 2 chapters so I could see your reaction to the big reveal. Oh, I wanted to enjoy it with me. That's so cute. Oh, shush. That was alright. It wasn't as deep as the others. I don't really read the mail. If you guys are interested in the mail, fucking tough luck. That shit looks boring. Finish the side story balance 2. Finish side story balance 2. Alright, we got Natsuki's poem. Oh, we got another one. A poem from Natsuki, disturbed at special events in the past. Acquire all Natsuki's event. I named my pen, the expression express. My feelings abroad with a ticket to you. No rooms for stammers, no lies, no extra stops, no compromise. Station screaming by attendants saying, hi, 1 ticket to you. Please and thank you. Take a headphone and doze. No bumps in the rails. I thought this said just humps. Just thumps in my heart and loops into my letters and clouds in the sky and dreams in your eyes. Hey, wake up. The train has arrived. Expression express. Destination you. Choo choo. Okay. Of course we got that one.
Africa will be real in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Nah, I think you're bluffing. Okay, that was a little short. We were only a good 30 minutes in? Question mark? A good 30 minutes in. I think we could finish this. Alright. Reflection. This one is Yuri and Monika. I'm not saying that I hate Natsuki, it's just really boring. Am I bothering you? No. Okay, just checking. It's hard to tell since you always look so into it when you're reading. It makes me scared to interrupt. Well, it's within my expectations to be interrupted when I read here. It's mainly when I'm by myself that I don't like it. That makes sense. I guess. God, these guys. I guess if you're here in the first place, then you're more ready to socialize, even if it makes a little bit of prodding. God, these are like the two smartest ones, and they're gonna use so many fucking complicated words. It's not so bad to be social if I let others do the work, so it can be healthy to put myself in a social environment every now and then. I feel like I'm saying that weird. I don't know. It's mostly difficult when I don't know anyone, or there are too many people, or everyone is being too silly for me to keep up with. Yuri glances across the room at Suri and Natsuki. Suri has her head cocked back in her mouth open. Oh, trying to catch pieces of a cookie that Natsuki is lobbing in the air, but the pieces keep bouncing off her face and hitting the floor. Maybe I should say something. No need, they just ran out of cookie. What a waste. They've really become good friends, haven't they? I'm happy. Suri seems particularly good at making that happen. But the two of them are both on the energetic side, so I suppose it works out well. Yeah, come to think of it, you and I haven't had many chances to talk one-on-one, have we? That may be partially my fault, since I'm supposed to be the one engaging club members. Not at all. I've probably formed a habit of drawing minimal attention to myself. Responsibilities equal on me, at least to display some openness to engage. Well, what about during times like lunch? Do you meet up with friends? I just read. Oh, but I like it that way. It feels nice to be carried off again by a morning. It feels nice to be carried off again after a morning of classes. Do you always read fantasy? Well, not always. I suppose it's all I've read recently, but only because I'm in the middle of this series. There are still 2 more books after this one. I guess those long books suit you well, since you spend so much time reading. Well, fantasy may be my favorite. I said it's so fucking weird. But after that, I'm more or less...
Ayo, you passed J Awesome in subs.
By like 1, I bet. I think it's just the 1. I'm more or less indiscriminate to... Oh, I actually said that right. To genres. I read anything with depth and maturity. Oh, yeah. Even like romance? Well, there are a lot of books that have elements of romance in them. Oh, come on, Yuri. You know what I mean. Monika lowers her voice. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, so
You are one better than J Awesome.
I'm one better than J Awesome, so I won't tell anyone if you do, too. Maybe more when I was in middle school. I mean, I was really lonely, and people were mean to me a lot, so I kind of felt like, please don't make me think about the past. Sorry. I just got super curious. You know, you should totally pick out a romance novel to read. That would be so much fun. Absolutely not. Really, even if it's just between us. Try asking someone who has no shame, like Natsuki. Ouch. Sorry, I swear I didn't mean that. Well, I guess it was my fault for pressing you. I'm like that for things in my past too. You know, things I feel too embarrassed to re-experience. Like this fucking game. There's nothing wrong with growing out of things. It happens to everyone. For instance, Natsuki's interests in manga remind me quite a bit how intense I used to be about my own interests. It makes me think that she'll likely grow out of it too. Were you two Where the fuck am I getting these words? Hey, were you talking about me? No, we were just talking about how our interests have changed over the years. When did you get into manga, Natsuki? Like a couple years ago, I guess. I was already sort of into it before that, but I wasn't really going hard until then. Oh yeah? What was it like? What was it that inspired you to get more into it? I don't know, I guess. Let me think. It was after I discovered a series that I really liked. Yeah, I was just like really fed up with a lot of things, and I got super into this one series that I really related to. I guess I had an edgy phase where I just hated everyone around me and wanted to be by myself. Ha. Hey, kinda like Yuri. Monika. I'm sorry. That's completely wrong, so it's still cool that you both really found your thing. They're almost like opposites, but it sounds like they've helped you a lot through your hard times. You know it. Wow, what the heck? Is that book even bigger than the last one you were reading? It's technically slightly longer, but not by very much. How high do you think you'd go if you stuck the whole series? Natsuki estimates by holding her hand high above her head, sizing up an imaginary stack. I should get one of those mangas that's like 50 volumes long, so I can say I've read more than you. Alright, I'm gonna take a sip of water. My throat's hurting. Alright. One better than Jay Awesome? Yes, I am. Not that I have the money for that. Please, that would hardly count. That would hardly count when your books only have a few words per page. I know. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was fucking bad. I know, I was just joking. I can never actually read books like yours. It's too boring for me. Yuri shoots a glare at Natsuki. It's not boring. Chill, I said for me, not for you. I can have my own opinion. I just think it's too convoluted. I'm past the word. It's still bothering me. Whatever. Sorry, are those from the floor? Nah. Gross. Oh, aha, gross. Also, wash your hands before touching any of my books. My hands aren't dirty. Just do it. The O's are there even if you can't see them. Fine. Sari struts out the door and Natsuki follows. Yuri, you look a little upset. What kind of nerve does she have to call my hobby boring? Well, she did correct herself. Hardly. She was so condescending. I don't mind if she thinks it's not for her. I already understand that it's not for everyone. Excuse me. But you know as well how much these mean to me. So how about just leaving me alone instead of needlessly telling me the things you hate about it? Sorry, Yuri. You may be right. This won't be the last time people have strong feelings about what they like and don't like, especially in a literature club. So I should figure out how to mediate discussions to keep them positive and constructive. For the record, I've always been impressed by the level of creativity in your books, and also your ability to get through them so quickly. Thank you. Okay, well, this is something that I'll have to think about and revisit. I'm sure I can help Natsuki find some common ground with you. Come on, common ground. I said, come on. Common ground isn't necessary. I just wish to be respected. Then, either way, I'll do my best. I'm skeptical when it comes to Natsuki. I trust you, Monika, but I'm skeptical. Alright. Oh, it's not done. Okay, everyone. We have a special club meeting today. As you know, the Literature Club is a place where we get to share things that we're really passionate about, but that also means we should be mindful on how we respond to each other's feelings. I think we have a chance to turn our differences into positive energy for each other. Aren't you being a little dramatic about this? This is important to me. Oh, sorry, I feel like I'm being accused for something. No, I'm not accusing anyone of everything. I'm sorry if it came off that way. Our conversation yesterday made me reflect on the power of language, and I thought it would be a good topic for the Literature Club, don't you think? I'm sure we're going to have differences in opinion a lot, so I need to make sure we're here to keep a positive atmosphere in the club, if you say so. Sure. The cool thing about our language is that it gives us a lot of different ways to express the same idea or emotion. We have a lot of control over how we want the other person to feel when receiving our thought. This goes for poetry, narratives, casual conversation, basically anything. For example, Sari, what's your favorite food? I have them organized by category. Should I start with snacks, or do you mean full meals? Should I include breakfast? Oh geez. Okay, what's your favorite fruit? It's easy, cherries. Really? I always thought cherries tasted nasty. What? Cherries are delicious. Well, that's a pretty strong reaction. Well, I just don't understand how somebody could think cherries are nasty. How does that make you feel? I don't know, sad? Defensive, maybe. Yeah, I got defensive. See, the reason we have such a strong reaction wasn't because I don't like cherries. It's because you felt like your opinion was under attack. But that's weird, right? Something like taste is completely subjective. But when I say something like, I think cherries taste nasty, I'm using objective language. I'm challenging Sari's reality that cherries are delicious with my own, which is that cherries are nasty. Wait, hold on. How is that objective when you just said that it was only your own opinion? It has to do with the way our brains interpret the words. You're talking about the reality of cherries, not your feelings about them. Like, Sari, let's rewind for a second and pretend I didn't tell you that I think cherries are nasty. Good. So what if I said, like, I've tried cherries and they're not for me. It's not the kind of flavor I enjoy. Well, that's fine, as long as you don't call them nasty. Nasty is a nasty word. Okay, so cherries was kind of a weird example, but I think it gets the point across. This time around, instead of talking about charades, I talked about my feelings, and Sari didn't get defensive. So instead of clashing with each other, it's like we received an invitation to talk about our differences. Yuri, you don't need to take notes. I'm not gonna quiz you or something. I know that. I was just... Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. You can do whatever you'd like. But does anyone have any thoughts so far? Yeah, I just feel like I shouldn't have to put all my language through a filter so just to protect someone's feelings. Well, you don't have to. The choice is yours on how you want to come across to other people. I'm only suggesting it as a tool to help your differences turn into a positive experience rather than an argument. Right, Sari? Whatever you say, cherry hater. Oh, come on. Sorry, I actually like cherries. I was just saying that to help demonstrate. What the heck? I've been duped. Sorry. Sorry, Sari. I'll make it up to you later. What about Cherry Sunday? You are welcome to dupe me anytime, my beloved president. It's weird. Buying your people's loyalty. How deplorable? Oh, like you would turn down a free sundae, Yuri. You're certainly a fan of those cupcakes I brought the other week. That was, I was reading and not keeping track of them. Oh, that's enough. We're getting off topic. So now we have the gist of it. How about we try with something more relevant to the club, like manga, right? Let's try to have a productive discussion about our differences and opinions. Yuri, do you want to start? Well, I'd rather not, so... Oh, come on. Oh, how come? Well, because I don't see how anything productive can come from that. It's just going to start a fight. No, it'll be fine. That's why I'm here to moderate. Let's have a calm and rational discussion. Yeah, give me a little more credit. I'm not a child. You don't have to coddle my feelings. I always think it's more respectable to just speak your mind. Respectable. Your expression changes at that word. As Monika recalls, being respected was the crux of the matter for Yuri. Well, the point of the exercise isn't exactly like, it's fine. I have nothing against anyone personally. You're entitled to enjoy whatever it is you like. I just prefer more depth and nuance in my reading material. I look for stories that are imaginative and sophisticated beyond the surface level. Oh, well, that's just misunderstanding then. I thought you were going to say like mangas for children or something. Like, I don't hear enough of that. But there's plenty of deep manga. I'm not clueless about manga. I read my own fair share when I was younger. What? Are you serious? How come you never told me? Because I'm past the point of my life where I prefer not to revisit it. I prefer more mature things now. Excuse me? Okay, hold on. Can I jump in here? Let's try to keep things subjective. Because you simply imply that manga is immature, then aren't you implying that someone is immature for being into it? Oh god, I need another sip. I'm just gonna fucking pass out. My fucking throat's killing me. Well, maybe it's immature to judge people for having different tastes than you. Natsuki. Nobody's immature. I read Natsuki's manga and Yuri's fantasy. I love them both in their own way. Okay. It's great that you like it, but I still find it boring. Boring isn't subjective. Okay, it bores me. That's subjective. But, the thing about... This is ridiculous. Do you see why I didn't want to participate in this? I knew it was just going to make people upset. I'm not upset. Like I said, I don't care what other people think. But I always got the impression that you secretly looked down upon me, so I'm glad my suspicions were confirmed. That's not true at all. You're making assumptions. You can't blame me for getting defensive when nobody ever has the least a bit of respect for the thing I'm into. The only thing I look down upon is when people make fun of me for just being myself, trying to mind my own business. What? Have you looked in a mirror? Come again about respect after calling all my interests immature. You can't. Please stop. Please. You don't mean the things you're saying right now. Let's just be friends. I didn't mean for this to happen. Well, it did. So please don't invite yourself to try to solve other people's problems next time, okay? Jesus. Yuri's piercing words send the clubroom into a choked silence as she gathers her things. She leaves. Holy crap. I've never heard her sound like that before. She must be so pissed. Well, you weren't very nice either, so I was just saying, how did this happen? It's my fault. Yuri wasn't wrong. I shouldn't have tried to moderate the conflict when I know how bad I am at dealing with conflicts. It was a really stupid thing for me to do. It's nobody's fault, and it wasn't stupid. Everyone in this club is a nice person. Nobody would have expected this, but I guess we're sensitive about the things we really love. Honestly, she kind of brought it upon herself. Natsuki is just a fucking bitch. What the hell? Like I said, I don't care if you're not into manga, but if you actually look down upon other people for it, that's kind of the point I was trying to make in the first place. It's not about sugarcoating things. It's about recognizing and understanding our differences. Okay, but here's the thing about that. Yuri actually looks down on me. It has nothing to do with her word choice or anything like that. So I see what you were trying to do, but I really think the problem here is her, not just like the way we talk to each other, right? I mean, Yuri isn't like that. She looks weirder than you're giving her credit for. I'm sure she'll be reflecting on this. I actually think everyone should. It'll be fine. I'll figure something out. Wow, I'm just like saying that instinctively. I'm just setting myself up to cause more problems. It wasn't your fault, Monika. You don't have to beat yourself up over it. If you ask me, it was good that the truth finally came out, because I can just move on now. But it's fine, I promise. Let's just get our minds off this, okay? In fact, it's a good opportunity to read some manga without having to worry about feeding Yuri superiority complex. Don't be mean. I'll talk or read manga or whatever you want, but don't be mean to my friends, okay? Sorry. I'm just bitter. Everything will be okay. I mean, I don't have the answers, but I at least know that we're all good people and don't want to hurt each other. This will be a learning experience. Monika says that, but her uneasiness is given away by how much she has to force her reassuring tone in her voice. Time is it? Okay, excuse me. This is bound to happen eventually. Natsuki and Yuri have always engaged with each other the least out of anyone, and this is the reason. As Yuri and Natsuki proceed to distract themselves with the manga, Monika sighs to herself, unable to shake her worried thoughts. Will the club really have to just come to terms with the fact that some members will be incompatible with each other? Monika desperately doesn't want to admit that, but she knows Sayori doesn't either. But for once, a solution didn't seem to be in sight. Alright, got new music. Peach pie. Awesome. Well, no new pictures, so we're just gonna jump right into it. Reflection. Halfway there, baby. How long are we in? Almost an hour. A new day arrives. Sayori arrives at the club earlier than usual. That is, not late. As she enters, it appears to be empty still. So she sits down at a desk and pulls out a sheet of paper, primed to jot down her thoughts. Sayori has made a habit of scribbling her thoughts and feelings on a paper whenever possible, as it tends to serve, as her best inspiration for poetry. My heart feels vexing because the ship sailed today. Yo! Yeah. Natsuki. Natsuki pokes her head out from behind the closet door. Ah, sorry I didn't mean to scare you, but it would have been a lot more awkward if I didn't say anything. I doubt you want me to listen in on your poetry thing. Yeah, thanks for realizing that. Should I let you finish that up then? Oh no, it wasn't. I mean, I'll just do it whenever it's convenient. You're not interrupting. Where's Monika, by the way? Oh, she's out in the hallway. Why? Well, just in case she runs into Yuri. Sometimes Yuri's too nervous to come into the club room by herself, so... Oh, jeez, does Yuri really let things bother her for that long? She can't control her feelings. For some people, it's really hard to cope when you get a bad thought in your head. Maybe you can distract yourself for a little while. But as soon as it's just you and your thoughts again, it comes back. What was she gonna say? I just want us to have a normal club meeting. It's a lot easier to pretend like it never happened if we all just ignore it and move on. I don't want to be bothered by this. It's so stupid. Her opinion of me doesn't matter anyway. Besides, it makes me feel really guilty, and I hate that too. It's okay to have feelings. It's to make you weak. Let's figure this out together. Fine. Only because you're good at this stuff. Let's try to come up with a happy scene. Maybe it will help us understand where your bad feelings are coming from. Well, I was happy the way things were before we had to have that conversation yesterday. What part of the conversation made you upset? Was it you being mean about the manga? Maybe. I doubt it though, because my friends and other people make fun of manga all the time, but I just brush it off and ignore them. But something about it really got to me this time, and I hate that I'm letting that happen. Is it because it came from Yuri? No, why would that matter? I mean, well, maybe. I hate that she thinks she's so much better than me just because she likes to pretend to be all sophisticated. Oh my god, even this water is not helping. Reading just fucking hurts, dude. I'm gonna take a breather. Oh yeah, should be good. Yeah, that's what it is. At least other people decide that they don't like me or manga or whatever. But you act like she's too good to even give it a chance. I'm sorry. Everyone deserves a chance. Yeah, exactly. Would you give Yuri's books a chance? Huh? After this? Obviously not. What about before this? Well, I wouldn't until I got bored, which wouldn't take very long. But if you actually keep an open mind, then it's not hard to realize that a story can be deep and meaningful without being needlessly complicated. I see, but you know, I like Yuri's books. Yeah, but you like manga more, right? So he shakes your head. I like them both. I like them in different ways, but I like them both. I mean, the manga is really honest and fun and easy to just let go with, and the fantasy has a lot more interpret and uncover, and it's really important to have some good quiet time together with it. But the most important thing is that both of the manga and the fantasy are true to themselves. So I love them both, and I think there's room for both of them to be in the same club together. And I just feel like maybe oh, I said that weird. Maybe they have more in common than you would think. How do you get along with everyone so well? I always get into fights with people. Like, first it was Monika when I was new to the club, and then it was you, and now it's Yuri. And I'm always like, oh, that person is being such a jerk, and if they just realize that, then we could at least get along. But nobody else has this problem. I just keep running away from the reality that everyone's just a jerk to me because nobody likes me. And I don't know why, and I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I hate it. Natsuki. So he pulls a comforting hand on Natsuki's shoulder. You're a wonderful person. You deserve to be loved as much as everyone else. Everyone has different ways they like to communicate, you know, and sometimes they make it harder for us to understand each other. I think that sometimes we get lucky and we make friends who are really good at the same kinds of communication, and it feels like you magically connect with them. But other times, even if both people are really nice, it's easy for them to misunderstand each other or get the communication wrong. It's something that Yuri struggles a lot with too. It can be really hard. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of like reflection and self-awareness and vulnerability. I'm bad at that one. Vulnerability. I always have to be the strongest. What do you mean? Tell me about that part of you. Well, sounds stupid, but I'm really used to people being mean to me, like my friends, and I guess my dad. Like when I don't get good grades or even stupid things, like if my room isn't clean. So what am I gonna do? Cry about it? If I let myself get upset, then it's letting them win. I'm better than that. Oof, I said that weird. Ah! I didn't have this problem before. I don't know why it's getting to me now. I'm better than all of them. So I think so things always have to be everyone else's fault. It feels like if something goes wrong and there's even a tiny hint that it might be my fault, then I just get really angry and I find ways to blame everything else instead. Do you see yourself as better than Yuri? If I said that, then I would just sound really full of myself. No. Our thoughts and our feelings are two different things. And if we don't like our feelings, we have to understand them if we want to learn more about themselves. It's a part of vulnerability, you know, accepting that we have feelings that we don't like. I hate that. My feelings make me a bad person, because my feelings just want to tell me that I'm much better than her. She's a judgmental know-it-all who's stuck in her edgy phase, that I'm just way above that garbage. But I'm terrible for feeling that way. You're not terrible. You are not your feelings. But you are not your feelings. You are not. Say that to yourself out loud. Fine. I'm not my feelings. Ah, I'm taking a drink again. Jesus Christ, this thing doesn't help. Oh, did I pause? When did the live stop? Ah. I take a breather because nobody's watching anyway. Hoy. Man, this shit is hurting my throat. It's weird, I didn't have a problem. It's just really hard. Thing is, I didn't have a problem when I was doing the actual game. But, I don't know, it's weird. The way that I like to picture it is that those feelings are like your roommate. If you live in the same house and you gotta see each other every day, and even if you can ignore each other most of the time, you're gonna run into each other every now and then, and it's gonna make you feel like poop. So the other option is to get to know each other. You can communicate and learn from each other, and maybe even help each other change for the better. Does that help you understand? How do you know so much about this stuff? I just have a roommate that can really be hard to get along with, called depression. Depression? But you're like the happiest person I know. I am not my feelings. I just want to be a good person like you. Ah, you little sweetheart. We're all good people. You and Yuri and Monika. And I think Yuri will eventually learn that about you. Natsuki remains silent, feeling a little overwhelmed. Despite Yuri's kind of reassurance, a complicated mixture of pain and sadness seems to fill her, as though flowing from a wound inside her. Was it a result of her vulnerability? No, it wasn't as though she was inflicted a wound after becoming vulnerable. It was as though she began to rediscover an old wound, one that cannot simply be bandaged and left alone any longer. Alright. Not done. Dude, what are you doing all the way over here? I was looking for you. Please don't yell at me. I'm not going to yell at you. I was just wanting to say, oh, this is new music. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry about what happened yesterday. It was unfair for me to put everyone on the spot like that. Next time I won't just try to jump and solve everyone's problems, and I guess it's a bad habit of mine. You're not mad at me? I thought you were the one mad at me. I was so awful yesterday. Yuri curls up, recalling the details about the argument. I couldn't even have a normal conversation without saying something wrong and making everyone upset. Oh no, that's not what happened at all. Let's talk about this, okay? Yuri pauses for a second, then manages to nod. Monika takes a seat next to her on the staircase. I'm having a lot of negative thought patterns, and I can't get away from them. Kind of negative thought patterns. Like everyone hates me, especially Natsuki. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's terrible. I read that super wrong. I don't think Natsuki hates you. How do you know? Well, because Monika thinks back to the time that she herself found herself in an altercation with Natsuki, and that display of maturity from Monika was enough for Natsuki to reevaluate her own feelings as well. I think Natsuki is just naturally defensive. I think she acts mean when she feels the need to protect herself. But, you know, she's really not a bad person. In fact, I think she can be really thoughtful and considerate. She just, well, I guess the way it works is that she wants to receive some degree of kindness first before she gets comfortable returning it. Oh, but that means the burden is on me, and I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say things that make people like me. Every time I open my mouth, Yuri shakes her head at herself and tugs on her hair. It's okay, Yuri, you don't need to beat yourself up. I think anyone would like you if they had the chance to get to know you. Well, unfortunately, the opposite is true. That's why I'm not talkative anymore in the first place, because everyone used to think I was weird and talk about me behind my back. That's just what happens when I draw attention to myself. Natsuki even said she found it more respectable when people speak with their minds, so I did, and she hated me anyway. That was enough to confirm my fears. But Sayori and I like you, and we've gotten to know you a lot by now, right? He doesn't seem to have a response. Hey, what do you think about Natsuki? I don't think about her. That's not what I meant, really. I was just wondering if you had an opinion of her. I do. What is it? Natsuki seemed to bring out the worst in me, and I feel really ashamed of it. I like to think of myself as a fairly sophisticated person. So for someone to just treat me like an inferior despite my taste, that's just the worst kind of insult coming from someone like her. It makes me think bad things about her. But everyone else seems to like her, so the only explanation is that it's me who's doing something wrong again. And my feelings about her are wrong, and I'm wrong to get upset over something so childish and inconsequential. No, Yuri, feelings are never wrong, but they're not right. That's the thing. Feelings are never right or wrong, you know. They're just a taste of being. Ugh, excuse me. Okay, two are watching now. It's either Jace or someone new. So hello. Hope you're having a good night. They're just a state of being that we don't always have control over. But that doesn't mean they have to control us. I feel like that's something I learned around when I first started the club. We can't just hate ourselves for feeling a certain way about things, or we can, you know, just acknowledge that they exist and try to understand them better. I can never be mad at you for just feeling a certain way. It's about how you handle them, and I think working through feelings is a great opportunity for teamwork. Yuri wears a dejected expression. You make it sound so easy. You're so mature and so good with people. I feel like such a child in comparison. Oh, Yuri, I'm far from perfect, but these are learned skills that didn't come naturally to me either. It's really hard to like reflect on yourself and separate your feelings from your thoughts. I just want to be a good person. Well, I think it takes a good person to get this far. That's not good enough. I want to be able to communicate it to her. Communicate what? How I feel. How it makes you feel. Frustrated and upset that she's so negative and dismissive of the things that mean so much to me, and how it reminds me of me, because I know what it's like to feel misunderstood and angry at everyone. I know that telling yourself you're better than everyone else is just a defense mechanism. We're just people. We're fragile and unstable, but I'm just tired of that getting in the way. I can't stand it when the piece is disturbed like this. Yeah, you can't focus on your reading when the piece is disturbed, right? Because the literature club should be happy for everyone. Monika looks at Yuri in adoration. I don't fucking know. I feel like sorry must be rubbing off on me because I really want to hug you now. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. No, I mean, well, if you wanted to, then I wouldn't really mind. So Monika pulls Yuri in a sore embrace. You're so gentle. And I love when you communicate your feelings. I feel like you get to see that side of you. I'm sure Natsuki will too. I'm just going to write her a letter. Oh, a letter. What a great idea. Just because I'm not good at talking, especially under pressure. I always let my feelings get the best of me, and I forget to say all the important things, and I say things I don't mean. Well, I think a letter would be wonderful. Such a nice way to communicate. Yuri's face hardens with determination. People don't naturally gravitate towards me like they do for you and Sayori. My personality just isn't suited for that, and I wouldn't want it to be. But something I've learned is that friendships don't always just magically appear out of thin air. For instance, I never would have seen myself making friends with someone like Sayori. We're opposite in a lot of ways, but I'm friends with her because she put so much effort and understanding in me so that we can get along. I think it was the same with you. You both gave me a lot of time and patience, and I wonder if it feels the same way. Natsuki? Yuri nods. I always thought if I wanted to make more friends, I had to be somebody that I'm not. That there's a type of person, a magical formula that I have to follow in order to make someone like me, and that's just like me to think that. Always so occupied with myself that I fail to understand other people. Yuri shakes her head. Friendship happens when you think about the other person, when you offer time and effort to understand them. I respect them and trust that they also want to be a good person. That's what I learned through my observations in the literature club. Observations. Throat hurty. Monika is caught by surprise. Yuri has always kept to herself so much that it's so unusual to hear her suddenly talking about the club like this. But Yuri gently smiles to herself. You always let me listen to your thoughts about people. Sayori too. It makes me happy because I learn a lot of things. It's so sweet. I have no idea it meant that much to you. Monika never thought much of it, but in the past weeks, Yuri always seemed to be especially attentive when it came to the problems and concerns of others. Always wanting to listen and learn more about her friends in the club. It's true, Sayori and Monika are naturally more comfortable with other people and can more easily work through situations of conflict, but that doesn't make them better people. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses and the capacity to improve, and the first step toward improving oneself is reflection and self-awareness. something that Yuri never gave herself enough credit for, but that Monika can recognize as an incredible trait. And with that, her confidence in the club is restored. Okay, we're not done. A very shy girl with long, pretty hair is wandering in bustling lunchtime hallways, her fist passed into her collarbone. When she finds the literature club president's classroom, she stands at the door, glancing all around her, before peering inside. Monika is sitting and chatting with a group of unknown friends. Yeah, as expected, this was a bad idea after all. Suddenly, Monika glances towards the door, making the girl panic and duck out of sight. Before she can regain composure and decide what straight to leave, the classroom door gently opens. Yuri, what a surprise to see you during lunch. Yuri squeaks in response. Please help me. What, is everything okay? Yuri shakes her head. I don't know how to write letters. Ah, thank goodness. I thought there was some kind of emergency. Monika briefly glances over her shoulder at her other friends. Do you want some help? We can go find an empty classroom or something. Is that okay? I feel bad taking you away from your friends. Totally fine. I promise. We weren't really doing anything. One sec. Monika trots back into her classroom, says something like, I gotta go, to her friends, and then grabs a pen off her desk before returning to Yuri. Hoi! Okay, let's find somewhere quiet. Yuri nods and follows Monika as the two of them set off. How are you today? Me? Oh, yes. Oh gosh, sorry, I just caught off guard. I'm doing well today. I'm just tired. I've never seemed to get enough sleep during the week. How come? No, I don't know. I just think I'm easily distracted and I get sucked into things and start neglecting the time. Me too. I did that too. Aha. Hey, this classroom is empty. Let's go in here. After peering inside, Monika opens the classroom door and the two of them enter. Oh wow, Yuri's moment of relaxation ends. She watches as Monika pulls two chairs up to the same desk and then obeys as Monika beckons her to take a seat. She stares down at the empty desk. You nervous? I don't want to do this. We don't have to. We can come up with something else. Yuri shakes her head. It's my chance to do something good. I need to take initiative. Oh gosh, you must be really determined. I know how it is to step out of your comfort zone. I'll be sure to encourage you. Yuri pushes through her anxiety and grabs a handful of lined paper from her notebook. Then she picks up her pen. Wow. I thought they grabbed another desk. Did they not? That's one really big desk. Oh, you're left-handed. That's neat. Ah, yeah. Now I don't have to worry about bumping your arm. Monika playfully rubs her shoulder against Yuri. Sorry, I was just being silly, I guess. Anyway, how about we start by listening to the different things you want to say to her? Yuri thinks. I feel embarrassed all of a sudden. No, it's okay. How about some of the things you said to me yesterday? But, never mind, I guess I'll try. Yuri thinks for a moment longer. Her tension's evident. Then she writes the word reflection. This is about my reflection on our behavior. The key question is why we act like this towards each other, but we have been able to separately be friends with Sayori and Monika. That's me. Yes, it is. So, Yuri thinks. Been able to befriend the two of you because you've taken the time to understand my needs and respect my interest. Same goes for Natsuki too. We started off as pretty hostile to each other, but because I was so worried about getting what I wanted, but she just wanted to be respected more than anything else. Once I stopped getting all about me, she was able to do the same. I just want to do that too. So what kinds of things do you want to do for her? I want to do the same things for her that I like to receive. I like it when people respond positively to the things I talk about and not just brush me off. I like it when my feelings are taken seriously. And I like it when you and Sayori trust that I want to be a good person even when I'm not going to do a good job at it. Let's write those things down. Okay, Yuri writes some things down. I think the most important thing to remember here is that Natsuki is feeling vulnerable, so we should make sure that the letter puts her first. It's hard when your feelings hurt, but it never helps to just tell someone all the things that they're doing wrong. I think first you have to make sure that they know you're ready to respect them and listen to them and admit the things that you feel you could do better. And finally, you ask what you could like in return. How does that sound for the structure? It could be 3 paragraphs, 1 for each of those points. I like that. My thoughts are so disorganized, I had no idea how to come up with any kind of structure. You're so amazing at these things. Oh, stop. You've done so much more than I have, you know. You spent so much time reflecting and being open-minded that it's the hardest thing for anyone to do. All I'm doing is helping you put it on a piece of paper. So I think you're the amazing one. Monika gives Yuri's hand a quick squeeze, but as she lets go, she's caught by surprise when Yuri curls her fingers to hug Monika's hands in place. For a while, they sit like that in silence, save for the occasional scratching of Yuri's pen against the paper. Yesterday you told me something that I was thinking a lot about. What was that? The thing about the feelings aren't right or wrong, and that they're just a state of being. We need to come up with terms with it. It made me think about how a person's behavior isn't always just how they decide to be. It's also made up of their past experiences and their insecurities. I think that helps me see other people as actual people rather than just insignificant side characters who are out to get me somehow. Is that how you felt about Natsuki? Yuri nods. But in reality, everyone is always trying their best, and everyone wants to be happy. Monika peers over at Natsuki's paper, at Yuri's paper, but to her surprise, Yuri pulls it in closer, partially covering it with her arm. I have to be able to read it to help you out, you know. It's okay. My thoughts are a lot more organized now, after being able to talk to you about it. Now that I'm actually putting it on paper, I realize I really prefer others not to read it. Yuri laughs softly to herself or express it. I'm kind of glad to hear that, actually. I somehow keep finding ways to butt into this whole thing. I've done enough damage. But also, it's also been so wonderful talking about this. I mean, I always thought you were really smart, but Yuri smiles. I'll always be terrible at these things. People are just so incomprehensive to me. I'll never get the hang of being one. Ah ha ha. But listening to you so much has really helped me make sense of some things. So just don't damage it, please. Monika gives Yuri a gentle smile. I can't believe I came to this club looking for fantasy geeks and all I got was real friends who value me. Is that a joke? Of course it is. I still can't tell with you. Sorry. No, I love it. Please never change. As you wish. Yuri glances at the clock. We're almost out of time. Will you be able to finish? Before the end of the day, probably, but I don't want to come to the club the same day that Natsuki reads it. Too shy. I can give it to her instead, if you'd like. Yuri nods. As long as you promise not to read it. Of course, I promise. Thank you. Yuri exhales, and then the two stand up. I'll message you when it's ready. Yuri nods. Good luck. I'm here if you need me. Yuri returns a nod, and the two depart. Alright, we got a new picture. Finish the side story reflection. Okay. Oh, hey, we got all the poems. So there are going to be no more poems in the game. We almost have a lot of these. Alright. So these two were in the same one. So I'm guessing they're going to do the same thing, and then we're going to also get a final scene. No, new background. Okay. And then obviously that. Like, I guess by getting all the achievements. Oh, wrong one. Alright, guys. This is the end of the journey. This is it. Self-love. My least favorite and my favorite character. Are those bottom windows on the right? Just noticed though, that is so weird. Huh. I'm gonna take a sip of water. I'm probably gonna finish this actually.
Poggers.
That's what I'm saying. Alright, let's finish this shit. It's only been one day since Yuri's letter was delivered to Natsuki with Monika's help. Because Yuri chose not to attend to the club meeting that day, she and Natsuki haven't faced each other since. Although it's only lunchtime, Yuri finds herself anxiously counting the hours until she will need to face the outcome of her efforts, whether good or bad. And because the passing of the students was making her feel even more anxious, Yuri picked out the most scheduled spot she could find to spend her lunch. Because the staircase is under maintenance, no student would have any reason of coming here. It's such a relaxing feeling to have a moment of solitude in the middle of a frantic school day. Ah, shit. What are you doing here? Yuri grips her book with enough force to wrinkle the pages beneath the pressure of her thumbs. Well, what are you doing here? I just came here to get a drink for the vending machine. The other one is out of the drink I like. Yuri notices Natsuki fidgeting with a few coins between her fingers. She nods, avoiding eye contact. Natsuki, also looking away, snuffles over to the vending machine. So quiet that every one of her movements seemed to reverberate. Man, I'm fucking stupid. Through the entire stairwell. After far too long, she finally receives her beverage, which she then fidgets with in place of the coins. It's some kind of iced tea, but instead of leaving right away, Natsuki stands in place. She glances all around her. It's like way too quiet back here. It's creepy. I mean, that's not what I meant. Really, I mean it. It's totally cool that it's your thing or whatever. Like, I can see how it suits you. So, not because I think you're creepy or something. I didn't mean that either. You know, I'm just gonna stop talking. That seems like a good idea. It's okay. Everything is okay. Yuri finds herself attempting some words of comfort after hearing Natsuki stammer herself into dejection. Breather. Seemingly in response, Natsuki approaches the base of the staircase and hesitantly sits herself down near Yuri. I can leave it if you want. Yuri shakes her head. Natsuki twists the cap off of her drink and takes a sip. Despite receiving Yuri's general permission, Natsuki doesn't say anything more. Yuri continues to read, or at least pretends to. Oh. And the two just sit there for a long time. The tension seems to fade a little as time passes. Even without any words, this seems to mean at least something, though it's not clear what it may be. No, I thought we were gonna get a little thing. Okay. Lunch ends more quickly than expected. Natsuki is the first to stand up with her empty drink bottle. Are you coming today? To the club? Yuri nods. I'm sorry for being so awkward. I'm really bad at talking about this stuff. I just can't for some reason. I don't know why. But I want to eventually. There's no rush. I promise. Thanks. Okay. It's the next day. Natsuki appears from around the corner and steps up to the vending machine, glancing at Yuri as she does so. Today she seems to be holding some kind of book as well. Oh, you're here again. Well, I just came here to read this because there aren't any people around here. Oh, I thought you didn't like how quiet it was. Well, I don't, but there's no people here. I see. Natsuki sits down. The mood feels much different today than it did yesterday. After yesterday's lunch and the club meeting that followed, Natsuki and Yuri are beginning to feel more relaxed around each other again. Although Yuri's letter is still lingering in the back of Natsuki's mind. Oh, so Natsuki already got the letter. She continues to detour around it. But it's okay that I'm here. But is it okay that I'm here? Yeah, I don't care. I mostly just don't feel like dealing with the crap I get from my friends about it. Especially since, like, they all just assumed I stopped reading manga after I joined the literature club. Not that I'm trying to hide it from them exactly, but I just don't want it to come up again now after I've waited so long for this new volume to come out, literally months at this point. You don't have other friends who are in the manga? Not unless online friends count. And Sayori, but that's different because she's not exactly into it, she just likes it, you know what I mean? Honestly, you're lucky that the books you're into at least look like books, so you don't have to feel like everyone is constantly judging you for what you're reading. That would be so awful, especially since I already hate attention so much. Well, it's a good thing I have thick skin, I guess. By the way, I would totally recommend finding some friends online if you haven't already. If you're like me and have no one to share your hobbies with. Oh, I have online friends since middle school, actually. I've been especially desperate back then. It's somewhat embarrassing to reminisce. Sure, we'll go with that. About those days. Sometimes I feel like the me from a few years ago would have benefited from a good smack across the face. Oh, whatever. We were all just stupid kids back then anyway. None of the fanfics I wrote, thank God I used to. What the fuck does that even mean? Whatever. But I liked it at the time. I got a lot of fulfillment out of it. And plus, I can look back and say with confidence that I've become a better person since then. So I don't think I would change anything. I wonder if a few years from now we'll think the same thing about our current selves. Probably. That doesn't make you uncomfortable? No, of course not. I don't care what other people think of me, especially someone who doesn't even exist yet. Alright, here. Natsuki raises her hand to her face and forcefully slaps her own cheek. That's me from the future coming to terms with me right now. Also, ow, I didn't mean to do it that hard. Yuri doesn't seem to react, but then, to Natsuki's surprise, Yuri shyly looks the other way before lifting her arm and doing the same thing to herself, loudly smacking her cheek. She turns red and stares into her lap, but it's unable to hide a smile, although it was a really funny joke. God, my throat. I'll take another drink. Hopefully that doesn't bother you. Water. Keeping that shit dehydrate. I mean, keeping water. It's a good game. It's God, holy shit. I'm drinking water. I'm a good person. Believe me. Thank you. Oh, that's what I was talking about. I didn't know you had it in you. I don't even know why I did that.
Stay moist.
Stay moist. Yes, sir. Maybe I thought it would be funny. Sorry, I keep distracting you. You said you were looking forward to your reading, but I keep going on about all this nonsense. I'll let you get to your reading. Alright. Yes, yeah, I guess I'll do that then. The conversation ends quickly and Natsuki opens her book. The two read silently for the remainder of the lunch hour, but the whole time Yuri feels distracted by a twist of regret having so abruptly forced the end of the conversation. You're back. Yeah, I'm here to lay low again. Another day has passed. During lunchtime, Natsuki finds herself having wandered to the stairwell once more. Hey, did you buy that? Natsuki quickly noticed the bottle of iced tea on the staircase where she normally sits. Yuri nods, avoiding eye contact. What, like for me? But you didn't know I was coming here today. What if I didn't show up? Well, I would have drank it myself, I guess. It was a stupid thing to do. No, it wasn't stupid. I just thought, never mind. What I meant to say is thank you, and it's a really nice gesture. It's okay if you don't feel that way. I do. It was the other things that I didn't mean. I swear, please believe me. Yuri pauses, then nods. Talking is hard. I get it wrong a lot too. So I believe you. Natsuki exhales in relief. She then sits down next to Yuri and takes a drink. Knowing Yuri, she was probably overthinking it so much that Natsuki's tepid response filled her with self-doubt. I'll do something nice for you next time. Please don't feel obligated. I want to. I want to do nice things too. Okay. Thank you. You can thank me after I figure out how to do something nice. I'll do it then too. Natsuki sighs. Nothing. It just reminds me of how I haven't been able to get along with my friends lately. Is that why you've been coming here? Well, no, not exactly. I haven't been avoiding them on purpose or anything. There are just other things I'd rather be doing during lunch lately. I like being around them when they're all having fun, but they also can't take anything seriously. So when I'm, feeling serious, and then their attitudes just really get on my nerves. It's only gotten worse ever since I joined the literature club. How come? I don't know. I feel like I used to be really good with just putting up with it, but because it would be so stupid to cause drama over a joke I didn't like or something. But I just have a hard time doing that lately. But it's my fault for being overly sensitive. If I have a problem, I'm going to demand for everyone around me to change. But yeah, I know. Monika and Sarah really don't agree with that kind of thing, but they're not in my position, so it's easy for them to say that you should just communicate your feelings or whatever. It's not like my friend group does that kind of thing. I would just be making an embarrassment of myself. Sorry none of this has anything to do with you. I don't know why I'm talking about it. It's okay. I like listening. What? Listening to other people's problems? Yes. That's weird. Sorry. I just like learning about people. Do you think it's weird? No, it's not weird. I probably just misunderstood, so I don't know. Does that mean I should keep going? If you'd like. Okay. Well, I don't know what all to talk about. What are some things that you like about your friends? A lot of things. I mean, they're really fun to hang with, like after school and on the weekends. And they really like my baking. It's fun to complain about school together. They make me laugh a lot, and we have a lot of good memories. And I didn't get to read that last part. I went too far. I think it said in reading jokes, books. I don't fucking know. Oh, I bet a lot of those things. So all those things are so important to you. Well, kind of, but they're not things I need to get out of everybody. Everyone in the club is really different from that, but I'm still friends with them too. Well, Sari really likes your baking, and she makes you laugh, and she complains a lot. That doesn't mean she's anything like my other friends. Well, unlike them, she's a nice person who cares about your feelings. Excuse me? How about you don't talk that way about my friends that you don't know anything about? Natsuki stands up. No, wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't want to say something bad. Please don't leave. Natsuki sighs and shakes her head. It's fine. As long as you understand, you can't just judge people like that. I'm sorry. Natsuki sits back down. You can't just compare friends like that, and like measure who's better than who. Everyone's different. I'm sorry. I just don't like people who want to hurt you. A moment of silence stretches between them. They don't want to hurt me. They just like to tease each other about stupid things. It's fun. I don't like that. Well, that's why I'm friends with them and you're not. Do you like it? Just don't worry about me so much. It's not worth it. I'm sorry. I wish I knew how to help with social conflicts. Like how Monika can. She's good at these things. Not really. Also, I don't know. I don't always want help. Sometimes it's just stuff I have to deal with myself. That's what Monika and Sayuri never seem to understand. Sometimes all you do is look at them wrong and they're all like, ah, that's wrong. Is everything okay? I just want my own business sometimes and decide myself if I want to talk about things. The only one who understands that is you. So, you really shouldn't be so hard on yourself. You're not as bad as you think. Oh, you don't need to reassure me or anything. I mean that. Plus, it makes sense that someone who doesn't talk a lot would make a good listener. Thank you. You're also nice. Oh, good. It's really hard for me. It doesn't come out naturally at all. It's so weird because I always thought of myself as someone who can just say whatever's on my mind, but I feel like that only works when I'm annoyed or upset or I want to say something mean. Why am I like that? I don't have the answer to that. I'm just talking to myself. Yuri nods and remains silent. Once again, notices her fidgeting with the pages of her book. How come you like reading so much? Oh, well, a lot of reasons, but I just get sucked into it so easily. It's so immersive, like I want to be a part of it. I think there are a lot of things about people in real life that make me feel uncomfortable and frustrated, especially when it comes to following social conventions and group interactions. I just don't really understand it, and I have no reason to desire to participate. But it's different with books. It feels like I always want to be around characters. I feel like such a strong emotional connection with them in ways that I've never felt with real people. So in that way, it can sometimes feel more real life than real life. Really? Is that hard for you to be around people like all the time? Fairly often, especially in group settings. When people are making all kinds of conversation and saying jokes, all of that, I don't really know what to do. I just disengage. The fucking doy. Oh, that doesn't get lonely? I don't think so. I can still enjoy spending time with people one-on-one, and I have online friends too, of course. Do you ever wish that you could be friends with the characters in your books? All the time. Sometimes so bad that it makes my heart ache. Yeah, me too. Really? A lot. Like, more than anything. After Natsuki mutters that silence fills the stairwell even once more. But it's a mutual silence, one full of understanding. Alright. How far are we in the stream? We are currently an hour and 30 minutes in, so I estimate this next one will be 30 minutes. But this is the last one. Side stories. Self-love. I'm just gonna jump right into it. It's been a journey, honestly, this game. I'll take my sip. My bottle's almost empty. It's ironic. This will be my last one. This game. It's been something else, honestly. Hey. Oh, hello. I almost thought you weren't coming today. Yeah, well. Alright. Here's the thing. Drinking all that water, I really need to piss. So, I'm talking 15 minutes, God, 15 seconds. Shoot this shit out like a rocket. Alright, back in business. I think we're all good. It says I'm not live. What's going on? Alright. Lunch is already more than halfway over. Natsuki has typically been waiting near me in the stairwell much earlier, since it had been a good way of dodging her friends when she didn't feel like seeing them. Today she's holding a large plastic container in both hands. I ran into my friends, so I hung out with them for a while. Is that so? Yeah. I was in a good mood today, so I figured I should. I hadn't seen them in a while. I didn't get to read that bottom one. What the why did I hit that? Hopefully it's fine. Plus I have way more of these than I know what to do with, so I figured I should share with them. I would share with them too. As she sits down, Natsuki opens the lid of her container. Okay, she has cupcakes. She brought cupcakes. She made her friend cupcakes. I understand. You made cupcakes. You know it. It's been a while at this point, so I figured it was about time again. You can take one if you want. Yuri takes the cupcake and carefully twirls it between her fingers. It's brown with dark green frosting, immaculately shaped into a floral pattern and topped with some kind of glittering powder. How pretty. I just ate, so I won't be able to finish it. Are they for the club? Yeah, I guess so. I didn't really think about it. I just made them. I just thought that because green is Monika's favorite color, right? Well, yeah, but not really. Yuri takes a small bite. Is this green tea flavored? I love green tea. Oh, do you? That sounds gross. Okay, this is like a sweet moment, but that's gross. Green tea? Well, I've never had it. It sounds gross, does it not? Whatever, I'm getting distracted. It was just a random idea I wanted to try, so... Ha, don't laugh at me. I'm not. I just felt happy. Oh, sorry. Usually when... Never mind. What I meant is that I'm glad. Sorry I'm saying dumb things again. I just wanted to do something nice, and this is something I happen to be good at. And I do know what it's like that you like them from past experience. Yuri enjoyed recalling the time she treated herself rather generously to Natsuki's cupcakes. Ironically, her mouth is too full of cupcakes for her to stammer an excuse, so she just settles for a disapproving look. Maybe you get into baking. Oh well, I don't know. It kind of just always appealed to me. Well, a few years ago, I read this one manga with a lot of baking, so I super got into it for a while. I was probably making stuff almost every day, but it's something that I always knew I liked anyway. It's like baking is like art. Baking is like art, but when you get good at it, it gets more delicious too. I'm struggling to imagine myself putting my art into something so artistic, knowing that it would just be eaten afterwards. Yeah, maybe you're too practical for it. I think I'd prefer to be on the receiving end. That's my other favorite part about it. It's something I can do that makes a lot of people happy, like unconditionally. Everyone always so thankful, and in that moment, you get to be like the bringer of joy. I don't know, it just makes me feel valued. Yeah, I guess that. So you were able to make up with your friends today. There wasn't really anything to make up with them. We weren't fighting or anything. You weren't? Maybe I misunderstood. It only turns into a fight if I lose my cool, and that's unnecessary drama. It only makes things worse. So they're not going to stop. I mean, it only takes sometimes away. It only happens sometimes away. Sometimes away? It only happens sometimes away. I don't know, whatever. It's just the way they are. I'm the only one who ever has a problem with it. And it's not worth it, especially since I have somewhere to go when I don't feel like hanging out with them. Oh, I see. The cupcake's empty foil wrapped audibly crinkles as Yuri clenches a fist. I'm glad that the situation is resolved and that you don't have to avoid them anymore. Yeah, me too. I don't have to bother you during your alone time anymore. I'm sure you have a lot of reading to catch up on. Yeah. You know that cupcakes are basically nothing compared to all the stuff you've done for me, but it's the best I can do, so you can have the rest of them. Natsuki grabs the box and slides it over to Yuri's feet. Yuri stares at the box, then she shakes her head and slides them back. You should save them for your other friends. But I made them for you. Natsuki's voice whines as she protests. I know, and I like them very much, exactly as you thought. You succeeded, but I know you care about making your other friends happy too. And if this is the way you know how to make that happen, then I'm not going to take it from you. No, they were making you happy. You make me happy. You're worth more than cupcakes to people. That's why they want to spend time with you and be your friend. Without warning, tears pour from Natsuki's eyes. She pulls her knees to her chest and starts sobbing to her on her arms. Natsuki? I'm such a bad person. Yuri stammers, feeling panicked. I didn't mean to say something bad. Natsuki shakes her head and then wipes her eyes. You didn't. Nikki tries to choke back her sobs, but struggles to speak through them. I just really hate myself sometimes, and I feel so wrong when you say those nice things to me. Like I don't deserve it. I'm sorry. No, I am. It's so difficult, and I can't think of a single thing about myself that somebody would like. I hate myself for bothering you during lunch. I just thought it was my chance to be a good person, like to be nice and do the right things you wrote about in the letter. I knew if I tried in the club, sorry Monika would be super annoying and make a huge deal out of it. You know, I think a lot of those negative things too about myself. I never felt like a good person. I always scrutinize everything I say, and later I feel like I said all the wrong things. And I just spend so much time thinking about myself, hating myself, and feeling like everyone else must hate me too. So I understand some of that through my own experience. And that's why I wanted to write the letters and express my feelings. It pained me to see those things in someone else that I saw in myself. Natsuki sniffles. Yuri also stirs her bag and pulls out some tissues, then hands them to Natsuki. Monika told me that it takes a good person to reflect on these things. To desire to improve yourself, that makes you a good person, so don't worry too much. Also, there are things about you that people would like, so... Like what? Like how you're fun for people to be around, and you're not shy, and you know how to make people laugh, and you're very passionate about things, and you know how to take the lead, and you care a lot about other people, and just a lot of things. Ow. Well, now you're making me feel really embarrassed. Well, you're the one who asked. I don't think I feel embarrassed. Natsuki tries to hide a smile, then she sighs as it fades again. Every time I come here, I always think it's the last time, but then I keep coming back for some reason. Is that bad? It's really confusing. Me and my friends and I go way back, so dishing them all the time feels like, I don't know, feels like what? Natsuki's voice gets quiet. Maybe I'm scared that they'll get mad at me. Ooh, excuse me. I really don't know what to do. She pauses. Yuri stares into the distance, tracing her eyes along the patterns of the floor tiles, and she thinks to herself, what would you do, hypothetically, if your friends were happy for you instead of mad at you? Happy for what? Happy that your new club is making you happy. Well, that's just not a fair that's just not a fair hypothetical. Natsuki says, but with little confidence in her voice. I always told myself that I don't rely on the approval of others to be happy, and I still feel that way, but spending time with people who put me down whenever I don't have their approval, that's probably what's making me feel so confused, because I'm threatened out of the things that should make me happy. So no matter what it's like, I have to be unhappy. What it's like, I have to be unhappy to be happy. It's making my heart hurt. It just makes it really difficult to feel comfortable with yourself. Being made to feel like you're wrong just for being the person you are. It really goes against everything I believe in, doesn't it? It goes against the kind of person I want to be. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with a lot of things. Natsuki presses her palms in her forehead and shakes her head. I don't know. I know what's best for me, but I keep convincing myself out of it. It's so much easier to be comfortably unhappy than it is to do something so scary. To do what? You know, to end it. With them? Natsuki nods. I didn't think you were actively considering that as an option. I wasn't until recently. It's just one of those things where, like, it's been a certain way for so long that you just get used to it. Like, so much of you has gone into it so much that it feels like that's just how your life is. And throwing it away is like throwing away such a big part of your life. It makes me feel sick to think about. Natsuki sighs. It's just really scary. It's terrifying. What are you scared of? I don't know, a lot of things. Like being alone, not being able to talk to or hang out with, not being able to replace what I have with them. And I don't want them to hate me. And I'm just scared they'll hurt me for going against them. Physically? Not physically, but Yuri clenches her fist. Natsuki, what? If anyone even thinks of cause you harm, I will unleash hell upon them. That's fucking cringe. Natsuki snorts in laughter. Don't laugh at me. Oh, I'm sorry, I like that. That's all. Oh. Well, I meant it. I know you did. Natsuki gives Yuri an endearing look. I needed it. As the conversation laps, Natsuki again slides your box of cupcakes over the ear. Just take them, okay? I don't know what other people. I don't want other people to have them anymore. Are you sure? Natsuki nods. I'm sure. And well then, I'll enjoy them. Natsuki looks away, but a feeling of warmth spreads through her. She holds on to that feeling, knowing it will give her courage. Ah, you're here first today. And you brought reading material. Natsuki is sitting in her usual spot, this time holding a volume of manga while her lunch sits beside her. Yuri sits down as well and opens her own book. It sucks when a good series has to come to an end. Oh, man. Like, it's such a big part of your life, and then one day there's just nothing left. It makes you feel so empty. Fortunately, I'm about to experience that myself. I'm on the last book of the series. That sucks. But there's also something satisfying about letting a story conclude. I don't know if I'd want it to go on forever. Maybe. But there are some things that I wish I could. On the other hand, have you ever read something that's overstated its welcome? Yeah, definitely. I can think of at least one thing I've read that got pretty unbearable like halfway through, and the ending really sucked. So it sucks when something good has to end, but it also sucks when they keep inventing more plot until you don't like it anymore. I guess it sucks either way. Well, that's the nature of all things. They have to come to an end. The two fall silent. They slowly eat while making their way through their respective reading material. Except Natsuki doesn't seem to be touching her food at all. You don't go to lunch during the weekends, right? Excuse me? Like with friends at the mall or downtown or whatever. I'm not a total shut-in, you know. Oh, my bad for making assumptions. Well, I'm sure I go out less often than other people like you and others in the club. I don't really meet with friends and arbitrarily spend time like that. I'm usually meeting with my board game group. Board game group? Doesn't matter, it's just more nerdy stuff. Why do you ask anyway? I was just curious. I just realized that I could picture it, so I was just curious. Yuri looks at Natsuki and realizes that she's shaking. Don't you Don't look at me like that. Sorry. Natsuki pulls her knees to her chest and puts her head down. I can't take this. Did I do something? Yuri gets flustered, her mind racing over what she may have said or done. I did. I ended it. I texted them earlier telling them, and then I just blocked them because I'm so afraid of the responses. And now it feels like I'm dying inside. Oh, that's... I'm sorry. Totally unsure what to do. Yuri can barely find any words to support to offer. Meanwhile, the sound of Natsuki's unusually hard breathing fills in the air. When she speaks again, barely above a whisper, help me. I feel sick, and I want to hit my head against things. Please help. I can't take this. You may be having a panic attack. With that realization, Yuri's demeanor suddenly changes. I have experience with this, so I'll help you through it, okay? Natsuki meekly nods to her rapid breath. Head still buried in her knees. Yuri slides stuff over to Natsuki and sits on the step beside her. But she puts her hands on Natsuki's shoulders. Can you feel my hands? Natsuki nods, shaking. Her shaking becomes much more apparent through Yuri's sense of touch. Yuri keeps her voice slow and gentle. You're safe right now. You're in a good and safe place where nothing can hurt you. Natsuki nods once more. Also, Yuri is also touching Natsuki's shoulders. She can practically feel her racing pulse through the base of her neck. We'll do a breathing exercise together. All you have to do is listen to my breaths and breathe along with me. Let's breathe in now. Yuri takes a deep, slow breath. Beneath her hands, she feels Natsuki's shoulders rise, and Natsuki takes a breath of her own, trying to mimic Yuri. They exhale together. Although Natsuki's breath shakes on the way out. That's good, let's keep going. Yuri breathes in once more, and Natsuki joins her. They continue like that for a few more cycles while Yuri closely monitors. Eventually, Yuri feels Natsuki rest more of her weight into Yuri's palms. Let's focus on the physical world. All you have to do is focus on the feeling of your breasts going in and out, and the weight of my hands on your shoulders. You're in a safe and comfortable physical space. Minutes pass in silence. By now, the worst part of it has passed, but Yuri is determined not to move away until Natsuki prompts her to. Meanwhile, Natsuki has lifted her head off her knees, and her breathing has mostly steadied. When she takes a final deep breath and slowly pulls herself to her feet, causing Yuri to let go. She stretches her arms. Sorry, I didn't mean to freak out. I don't know what my deal is. You don't have to apologize. It must be enormously stressful for you. Is that going to keep happening? It may or it may not. If we can take measures to help prevent it in the future, we can take measures to help prevent it in the future, but I think it will naturally get better over time. Natsuki motions, sit back down again, and Yuri moves over. Yuri turns away to pick up her open book on the dusty floor, which she had hastily set down earlier. She brushes the dust off the covers. I don't think I could have gotten through that alone. You're not alone. Feeling shy again, Yuri speaks into her own lap. From now on, you don't have to do anything alone. As she said that, Yuri tenses up. It's rare for her to so openly share her thoughts, but something about Natsuki, of all people, makes it feel so much more natural to do so. Perhaps because, like Yuri, Natsuki is so timid and uncertain of herself. Natsuki does such a good job at hiding it that it's taken a long time for Yuri to finally realize it. Because of that, Yuri is able to deliver a reassurance that she herself would have wanted, demonstrating that you deserve to love the love of others. If you can accept that for the first time, then perhaps you can begin the tumultuous journey of learning to love yourself. Oh, that's nice. Do you really mean that? You're probably gonna regret saying that if you do. How so? Because I'm probably gonna have a lot of free time during the weekends from now on. So you're giving me permission to be as annoying as I want and drag you around to a lot of places. I see. But you already said it, so you can't take it back now. Ah. Well, I suppose I have no choice but to accept that responsibility then. Ooh, voice crack. Another good ice cream place. Oh, that means you finally figure out all my favorite ice cream flavors. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, you don't remember? The first day when you come into the club, you guessed everyone's favorite ice cream flavor, but for me, you just said you had no idea. Seriously? I don't remember that at all. Oh wait, yes I do. I said it was probably green tea. He shakes her head. It was a good guess. My favorite is usually to get chocolate or raspberry together. Chocolate and raspberry? How fancy. How is that fancy? Oh, I don't know. I feel like I should have guessed something like that. Well, maybe next time I'll try chocolate and strawberry. Hey, strawberry is my favorite. What a coincidence. I think it helps to have something to look forward to. I still have the sick feeling in my stomach, but it's easier now to convince myself that I did the right thing. Is there anything better I could be doing? Not that I know of. There's nothing that will make this easy for me. And you already did more than I thought anyone could. Come to think of it, we never talked about the letter you wrote, but I feel like we're way past that at this point. I don't even know what to talk about, except that I think it helped me understand my needs a little bit better, the way I liked to be treated, and the kinds of friends that I want to have. That's why I wanted to start coming here in the first place, even though I was so scared of causing more problems. I thought it was a coincidence that you ran into me here initially. Oh, well, not exactly. What do you mean? Nothing. Well, I may have tracked you down first with the help of Sayori. But you said I was shy, okay? I wasn't ready to, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Well, I guess I'm glad that you worked up the courage, even if it was in your own way. I can tell that you've been making a lot of difficult decisions. It's brave, and it will make things better in the long run. I think anyone would be proud of you for it. Anyone? You mean like you? Yes, like me. You know, I could get used to this, as long as you don't tease me too much. Fine, just a little then. That's fine. I know how uncertain everything feels to you right now, but I really don't think that good things are in store. Those are my honest feelings. Thanks. Feels nice to be reassured. The two girls continue the conversation through the remainder of lunch, but the new feeling hangs in the air, a feeling of greater certainty in their path forward. It's just a few hours. There will be another literature club meeting where the 4 club members will happily spend time together. Each of them, all in their own special qualities, have something unique that they can deliver to one another. Through friendship and literature, the club members will continue to grow and find new happiness together. The end of each chapter is the start of the next. Yuri thinks to herself. Since she's about to finish her long-running series, it would be best to have a new book lined up. Perhaps this weekend would be a good time to visit the bookstore. Together. Holy smokes. Oh no. Why are those missing? There's one more. This isn't it. This is it now. I thought it was over. It's not over. Alright. Bonus. Begin the side story. Okay, everyone. We're going to be taking a break from the usual activities today. I was thinking since people are starting to talk about the festival, it's a good time for us to go over the general direction of the club and all that. I think it'll help us figure out what to do for the festival, you know? Oh, sorry, I already came up with a really good plan. Really? For the festival? Yeah, so the plan is, okay, you and Yuri collect information ahead of time on which clubs and classes are doing food booths. Then we take a map and plan out the most efficient route so we can get the most of them before the line gets too long. Hey, that has nothing to do with the club. Well, you have to let me finish first. Alright, fine, go ahead. Right, so basically we got all the food we can, we come back here, and we all eat together. That's all. Well, I got tricked twice by the same joke. Boo, don't be a hater. It's not like you can come up with anything better. Look, Yuri was thinking about it. No, I wasn't. I would really prefer to do something literature related. We can eat together anytime. The festival is a unique opportunity. Besides, it's been quite a while since we've seen any of the new interests in the club. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. We really get a shot of showing people what the literature club is all about. I'll tell you what, we can do both, right? We'll make time for your food mission and still put together a public event. Oh my gosh, yes. I said that weird. I was just joking, but that's a really good idea. Ah, well, I'm glad that's settled. I think the question is how to come up with an event that demonstrates everything you can get out of the literature club. Well, it's kind of tough because everyone gets something different out of the club. Okay, how about this? Let's go around and have each of us talk about what we've gotten out of the club so far. That could really help us figure out what kind of reputation we want to build. Yay. Yeah, that's too embarrassing. We have so much to talk about. That's exactly why. And I'm sure Natsuki feels the same way. Well, maybe I didn't plan on arguing against it or anything. It's the literature club. We talk about that stuff together, right? And the only way to get more comfortable with it is just suck it up and do it. Oh, you're not wrong. I'm sorry for being resistant. It's not good to say suck it up because it sounds like their feelings don't matter. Right, my bad. It's just a habit I need to break. Well, anyway, who's gonna start? I'll start. Well, I was the first to join after all. Wouldn't that be me? No, I want to go first. Fine, you can start. I don't mind. Yay. So, gosh, it feels like so long ago. I think I joined because I wanted to have fun sharing poems with people. It seemed like it would be a safe way to express myself. You know, if it's just a poem, then I can share it without feeling like I'm a burden. Like I'm burdening everyone with my problems. And I thought it would be a really good way to get people to know each other. And I thought it would be a really good way to get to know other people too. So yeah, I was really surprised when I walked in and it was just Monika, and she was sleeping. Don't remind me of that. Gosh. But it seemed like it was so much fun to help start a new club, especially since writing helped me so much. I wanted to see it help other people too, but it ended up being me who was inspired because I remember feeling like Monika was so sweet and mature, and I could trust her with anything. It made me feel a lot less alone having someone who knew even the bad things about me. And at that point, I knew the literature club was going to be special for a lot of people. Yeah, I felt the same way. It really helped give the club more cohesive vision. Yeah, and then Yuri joined, but she was so different from us, and Natsuki too. I think for Yuri, it really helped me to take the lead before she was able to open up a little. Natsuki was kind of the opposite, where she wasn't ready to get really close to someone really quickly. I never really thought about that sort of thing. God, I'm so tired. It's almost 3 o'clock. I really feel like I've gotten better at understanding people's different needs, and that makes me really happy because my friends are just the most important thing to me. I'm super tired. Got another viewer, hello. And whatever new members we get, I want to help them in those ways too. I don't know if I would have continued to come into the club if it weren't for you. Really? I know it wasn't too long ago, but it hurts to think about my behavior back then. I was really short-sighted. The only reason I came to find others who were into fantasy, I suppose, was my idea of making friends with people. And I remember feeling uncomfortable because you and I have such different energy and such a specific idea of the kind of person I could be friends with. So when Sayori tried so hard to get to know me, I felt like I was just wasting her time. I think I was naive to assume that similar interests were the key component of friendship. Sayori and I were able to be friends because she always thinks about the needs of other people. That's assuming I never knew about something new how to do or even thought to do. But I stayed in the club thanks to that, and I started trying as hard as I could to understand people better. You really went above and beyond when it came to that. I was super impressed. Well, I always hated that I didn't know how to behave like a person who was easily liked by others. Oh my god. Like the two of you can. And because of that, I spent so much time thinking about my own behavior and all the wrong things I said. But the whole time I should have been thinking about other people instead, not myself. Once I started doing that, I was able to make friends with everyone else. Oh, also I discovered that sometimes I'm a better communicator when I take the time to write rather than speak. It's so strange the way things turn out. It's so different from anything I never would have expected, but I'm happy. I suppose we don't always know what we really need. Oh my gosh. You're so cute that I'm going to throw up. Oh, please don't do that, Sayori. Besides, I'm not cute. Hey, isn't that my line? Oh, well, for me, it's actually true, so what are you saying? Nothing? I finished my part, so somebody else take their turn. My heart. Sayori, take some deep breaths. Okay, fine, I'll go. Yuri, I can't believe we're complaining about doing this and still went before me. What a show-off. I was just following up on Sayori. It was the easiest way to get it over with. Besides, you left out the most important thing that you get out of this club. I did? Yeah, a regular supply of your favorite cupcakes. Oh no, I forgot that too. I'm a traitor to the Cupcake Queen. Neither of you are forgiven. Looks like only Monika will be getting the cupcakes next time. No. These lines are kind of cringe sometimes. I can't eat that many cupcakes. Yeah, true. Only Yuri can. Hey. Well, anyway, I was just putting off talking. It's kind of hard to talk about this stuff, but I guess when it comes down to this, I'm in a much better place mentally than I was when I first joined. And that's because everyone helped me realize that I had some really toxic friendships going on outside of the club. It was honestly a really painful thing to go through, having to cut them off. It's still hard to think about. I'm sorry, Natsuki? Oh, I'm sorry, Natsuki. It's fine, I knew it was for the best, and I was right. I guess for me, it's all about feelings. I was only ever ridiculed about having feelings, so I thought the right thing to do was to just ignore them. It took me a really long time to realize that it's not really just how things are supposed to work, and I guess that's thanks to everyone who took the time to respect my feelings, and even when I was being like the biggest jerk. I'm really sorry for being such a jerk to everyone. I was really the worst. Natsuki voice chokes a little. We love you, Natsuki. I just hate that I was like that. Everyone did so much for me and I could never do anything in return. It's not true. Natsuki, you've done a lot more than you think. This club really wouldn't have been the same without you. I mean that. A real judgmental I was when you first showed up. It was like I couldn't accept anything over my own idea of what a literature club was supposed to be. Apparently that was more important to me than the opportunity to bring you some happiness. You really taught me that anything that makes someone happy is worthy of respect. You even inspired me to start playing piano. That's something that means a whole lot to me. So there's no need to put yourself down. Okay. Natsuki wipes her eyes. You helped me a lot too. It's so much fun to have you around, and you helped me become a better person. Having a problem doesn't make you or needy or inconvenient. It means that there's something that needs to be better for you. That needs to be better for you, and you always deserve that. I agree. Seeing us have some Seeing us have some of the same struggles made me a better person as well. I wouldn't want to change anything about our time here. Oh, I'm gonna take a breather. I've run out of water and I didn't know there was gonna be more. Big stretch. Man. I don't think any of us would. I'm sorry I got all dramatic again. That's why I wanted to say it, so Monika can go now. There's no need to apologize. It was something I wanted to talk about anyway because it made a big difference before me. I was always such a strict perfectionist who never took enough time to believe in the best of other people. But everyone kept proving me wrong. I made the mistake multiple times thinking that my way was the best for everyone, or thinking that I needed to solve other people's problems. But I think being a leader means that you have to acknowledge that you're not perfect, that the best thing you can do is to help guide people rather than to do everything for them. We're all good people. We're all equals. I think that's the most important thing I've gotten out of this club, realizing what that really means. Sorry, what are you doing? I just thought we should be writing some of these things down. Things about the club that are valuable to us. With a piece of chalk in her hand, Sorry writes the words trust on the chalkboard. This is because you showed me that I could trust you with everything about me, not just my good sides. Suddenly, Yuri takes a piece of chalk as well. She writes, understanding. I owe a lot of gratitude to everyone who took the time to understand me, even when it was so difficult for me to express myself. In that case, Monika takes a piece of chalk as well, and she writes, respect. I always thought I was a respectful person, but it took the club for me to apologize that there was more to it than I thought, and I remember, and I'm a better person because of it. I have another one. So he writes, balance. Sometimes people want different things out of a friendship, or they need time before they're ready to become close. So it's important to keep things balanced between you and the other person. That reminds me, your writes reflection. I've always been a reflective person, but most of it has been nothing more than hating myself for all the things I thought I did wrong. Once I started reflecting on other people and not just myself, a lot of things changed for me, so I think that's the most important one for me. That's great. We have a whole list of things now. Suddenly everyone turns to look at Natsuki. Everyone took all the chalk, so don't look at me, jeez. You could have just asked. Monika hands her a piece of chalk to Natsuki. Then Natsuki writes, self-love. I don't know how far I've gotten with it yet, but it feels like things are at least on the right track. So there, that's my contribution. Together everyone stares at the words on the board. Wasn't this club supposed to be about literature? It is. We still do a lot of literature. Friendship and literature. Yeah, you're right. Friendship and literature. Natsuki and Yuri gently nod as well. Hey, let's all take a picture together. We don't have one yet, right? Yeah, hey, you're right. Make sure you send it to me after. Wait, can I brush my hair first or something? Oh, you're fine. You already have the best hair out of all of us. Everyone get together. I can't fit you all in. Okay. Okay, everyone ready? And click. Oh, that kind of scared me. Jump scare. I'm really glad we talked about all this stuff. It's easy to forget how far we've come, with only 4 members. Yeah, I have so many happy thoughts right now. I'm getting some really good inspiration from her poem. You know, I feel the same way. I kind of want to get some writing done. Me too. I think I would like that as well. Everyone's looking at me again. I'll do it too, but I might not feel like sharing it. That's okay. The 4 members of the literature club disperse and return to their desk, each equipping themselves with a pen. Natsuki and Yuri give each other a quick glance and then start writing immediately. Sari stretches and does the same. But Monika is left tapping her pen against the paper, unsure of where to start. Just move your hand, Monika's mouth, to herself. Right away into your heart. Her mindful thoughts, memories, and inspiration, Monika navigates past her mental barriers and begins to write. It doesn't matter what, just that it's something new. Oh? Oh my god. Alright. That was that. Huh. So it wasn't creepy, but it was still pretty good. I liked it. Of course, the main story, you know, I'll probably remember that a lot more than this, but I still like the stories. It was a cool little thing of how they all met and stuff. It's just a little weird on how everything in this goes downhill so fast after the main character joins. Huh. So that's it. That is Doki Doki Literature Club. Man, this game was fucking crazy. I will never forget this game. Man, when I played this shit back in 2017, I was traumatized. But can't believe it's over. And it's ironic because they were all talking about like how something has to come to an end and stuff. And, man, really good lessons, I guess. I really don't know what to say. It was a good game, I guess. It was fun. A lot of reading. I'm sure I didn't get to really interact with these 2 parts, but Oof, but yeah. Oh god, I didn't think that was supposed to pop. Boo, it did. Yeah, it definitely did. Man. Huh. It wasn't a creepy and terrifying ending. You didn't have to delete anybody. Alright. I think there's gonna thank you, dear player, for enjoying our story of friendship and literature. Wow. Yeah, made with love. No, that's nice. Huh. Alright, I just 100%ed the game. I'm about to get a platinum trophy, I think. Maybe not. Did I get everything? Oh, that's funny. Huh. I think I got everything. Man, I can't believe I 100%ed this. Now I know I didn't get like the secrets on camera because man, that was a fucking bitch. That took me like 2 weeks to get all this, and I was of course not going to deal with that on camera because it was just me repeating the game over and over again. But yeah, that's really it. Funny face. Got any music? We're really done with Doki Doki Literature Club. What a crazy ass game. That's all I gotta say. This game's gonna hold a place dear in my heart. Like it, as in the horror category. This game was fucked. But yeah. Well, I'm just gonna have to end this one here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Damn, 2 likes on the video already? I would ask for more. I'm gonna ask for more if you like the video. You know, hit that thumbs up and shit. Also, Beating J awesome. Do I really need to ask for subscribers? Nah, I'm pogging. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful night. That's really about it. Thank you. Goodbye.